What's up, everybody? My name's Chance. Today we're going to be diving into a Selesnya Counters deck, and I've got to say, this has got to be the best state Selesnya has been in since ever in my time of playing Magic. Honestly, Selesnya has never been this strong. I can't think of, sure, we had the Selesnya enchantments or whatever, but those were so easily counterable, right? Those were so easily, seeable. You see the champion, the citizen champion, and your opponent's like, okay, I know what you're doing, I know what's going on, this is how we're going to solve it. But this Selesnya deck, this Selesnya Counters deck, it's doing so much work. It's so money, right? So kicking us off down here in the bottom end, we have 2 copies of Selfless Savior, and this was actually a recent addition I did myself for the ability to give your Conclave Mentor and your Luminarch Aspirant, all these important big creatures that you have, indestructible, because there's so much easy removal. Bloodchief's Thirst, it's literally 1 mana, destroy any of your important shit in this deck at any point. So you gotta have protection. You gotta have protection if you're gonna be playing this deck. Next up, we have Swarm Shambler. I wish I had more copies of this card, honestly, but it's also not a card that I'm gonna go dive into because it's 1 mana. It could be okay or could absolutely do nothing except for give you a 1/1 insect that again does nothing. So Swarm Shambler, I think it's a cool card, but I don't think it's necessarily a requirement in the Selesnya sort of deck. But it does certainly help you get off to a quicker foot with your counters, right? Stonecold Serpent and Wildwood Scourge have been staples of the counter decks for a while now, being able to come in with X +1/+1 counters, having protection for multicolored, reach, trample, all that good stuff. And then of course Wildwood being able to build off of all the other counters that are built on your other creatures is just phenomenal. Moving us over to our 2-drop slot, we have 2 copies of Basri Solidarity, which is going to give a +1/+1 counter to all of our creatures. I'm sure you can think of the utility for that. Kabira Takedown is going to be a land flippy floppy card that also allows us to deal damage equal to the number of creatures we control to target creature or planeswalkers. So this is actually a way for us to deal with Omnaths, or maybe not Ugins when they're full, but we could still maybe, hit a Ugin or something like that. Do some damage, basically, is what I'm saying. Luminarch Aspirant, 4 mana for this 1/1 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Obviously, with Conclave Mentor, it's basically 2 +1/+1 counters every single turn that you're putting on creatures you control. So it's really good for 2 mana. Not gonna lie, the biggest downfall is, again, it's 2 mana for a 1/1. So it's like, yikes! Could you just not sneeze on a creature? That'd be great, because even a sneeze will take that bitch out. Sejiri Glacier or Sejiri Shelter, again, more protection, but this one has the added benefit of also being a flippy flop land, which gives you, efficiency in your card draw. You don't have to worry about, if you draw this, do I have a land, do I have a spell? You have both, right? Scavenging Ooze, again, another staple of the Selesnya counter deck for a while. 2 mana for this 2/2 that allows you to exile cards from opponents' graveyards while gaining life and putting counters on yourself. And then Conclave Mentor, 2 mana for this 2/2 that if you're going to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, put that many +1 instead. And then furthermore, whenever it dies, you gain life equal to its power. So very strong, uncommon card, so everybody can go pick it up and have a little bit of fun with it, right? Skyclave Apparition, 3 mana for this Core Spirit that's a 2/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you're going to exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent. Obviously, this has some restrictions to it, but it still allows you to grab things like Lucky Clover, Lovestruck Beast, Questing Beast, all that kind of stuff, right? Kalini Ambush, another flippy floppy land, and a good one at that too. This can act as some instant speed removal. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Pretty simple. Orin Reef Ooze, or Orion Reef, or Orin, whatever you want to call it. 3 mana for this 2/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Generally, you'll be selecting itself, and then whenever it attacks, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that's attacking that has a +1/+1 counter. So, sort of like an activatable Basri Solidarity, right? Kazandu Mammoth, again, another flippy floppy. 1, it's a beautiful land. 2, it's a beautiful, beautiful creature. 3 mana for this 3/3 that has landfall, +2/+2 on its attack or on its abilities whenever land hits, whatever. It can get up to a 5/5 or a 7/7 relatively easily. And then, of course, if you have counters on top of that, now it's like a 9/9 or a 10/10 or some crazy shit, right? Moving us over to our 4-drop slots, we have 2 copies of Basri Solidarity and 2 copies of Felidar Retreat. Solidarity. Lieutenant is going to allow you to get these 2/2 White Knight creature tokens back whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies. Furthermore, whenever this card enters the battlefield, you're going to be able to put a +1/+1 counter on something, and it has vigilance and protection from multicolored. So all in all, 4 mana for this card that does a lot. Now, obviously, it's going to be a very high priority for your opponent to remove, and that's why I say when this enters the battlefield, for the large majority, you will be selecting itself for that +1/+1 counter. Felidar Retreat, you know, create the 2/2 green cat beast creature tokens. This is great at giving you the go wide sort of strat. And then, of course, you have Basri Solidarity, or even this card in and of itself to go big. So you can put down a land and then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and then also give them vigilance, which is just crazy talk. And then finally, last but not least, we have 2 copies of Emeria's Call and 2 copies of the Great Hinge. Emeria's Call is going to be a 7-mana create 2/4/4 White Angel Warriors, and then all your non-angel creatures are going to gain indestructible. It is also a mythic land, which means we can shock it in for 3 life, or simply play it in tapped. And then, of course, Great Hinge going to give our creatures counters as they enter the battlefield, going to give us life gain, going to give us additional mana, and it's going to cost less as our creatures get bigger and bigger. So, all in all, a very, very fun deck. Like I said, I do highly recommend if you're a big fan of Selesnya decks, try this one out. This has been the best Selesnya deck I've ever played on Arena, and I can say that wholeheartedly. It's so fun, and it's actually good. It's actually competitive. You can win matches. To me, saying that with Selesnya is like, it's strange. It's strange to hear, right? Anyways, if you enjoyed, as always, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, hit that bell icon, as that is the best way to support the channel free. And it's the best way for you to get the most out of the channel, as then you get all the updates whenever I post these videos, and you don't have to wait for everyone else to be playing them already in the meta, and you're sort of late to the party. So be sure you're subscribing and getting these decks ASAP. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive into the matches. NKJJ going to be our next foe for the day. I like how all that sort of rhyme sort of just rolled right off the tongue. Yeah, I'll keep this. I see the Conclave. I see the Luminarch. Unfortunately, we are just going to go ahead and use Fabled here to grab white mana, so that way I can get down Conclave. See, you go over there. We don't have a need for that Branchloft entering untapped on this next turn, I don't believe. Please don't have removal. Oh, they have removal. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? I wasn't expecting that. Not gonna lie, I was not expecting that. Does our ooze land? Does our... Okay, I'm a little sad. Not gonna lie, I'm a little sad off of that. Okay, so... Okay. We're gonna go and throw down this ooze. I want the shelter to protect our Luminarch Aspirant. So, that's pretty much it. I don't trust this Sultai player. Why are you still playing Sultai, bro? Euro's gone. Omnath is the new king. Who plays Sultai anymore? What a loser. I'm just kidding, NK. If you're watching the video, I don't think you're actually a loser. We know they're playing counter magic. You know, it just rubs me the wrong freaking way. There's no way I can play Felidar Retreat. There's no way I can get down Felidar Retreat. How do you know I could have gotten down Felidar Retreat? Maybe. Maybe. There's no telling how much counter magic they are actually playing. So, for the time being, I'm still pretty happy with what's happened. I think. They have 7 cards, and they don't want to discard any of them. They said, nah, I need these all. That's okay. We get caught up in that moment too sometimes. Where we're like, yeah, you know, I just don't know. I'm actually gonna save the Fabled Passage, I think. Well, no, because if they still have more Jawari disruptions, it's bad. We're not gonna activate the Fabled. How about that? I'll play it, but I'm not gonna activate it. I should have just jammed Felidar earlier. Fuck, my ooze. Can I surrender now? Can I surrender now? That's alright. I was like, how do I get this Luminarch Aspirant to live? I wasn't even looking at the fucking ooze like, oh yeah, I can exile a creature and keep this shit alive. If you have removal, you use it now. There we go. Alright. I guess we just keep on keeping on, you know? Keep on keeping on. Cool beans. Cool freaking beans. That is some good damage here. Good damage. They also don't have any non-creatures here to actually play with Shark Typhoon, so if they just hit a land, that'd be beautiful. They did. Go ahead and cast a Lockthwain, because you gotta hit something. 4 mana. What do they do? What do they hit? Brazen. Can't block, though. Yeah. Get out of here, NK, with your controlling ass. I may have messed up, but sure. I guess we'll keep it. You know what I'm interested in doing, actually? And I don't think it'll be very good, but I still want to do it now that we have so many. I want to play an Ooze deck in Historic. Right? Like, we have Scavenging, we have Orin Reef, or Orion Reef, however you want to say it. We have Scavenging Ooze, not Scavenging Ooze, fuck, I can't think of it now. The 5-mana ooze that like duplicates itself, or doesn't duplicate, but you know, it makes another ooze, and then it gives every ooze +1/+1 counter, and so on and so forth. That is what I. Yeah, I think they're playing. They're doing Teamer, aren't they? Fuck. Just play down that Fae, huh? Huh? You just think you can come in and play the Fae? Which way? We actually are just going to play down Kazandu Mammoth here. Because with the Fabled Passages we have in hand, we're able to kick this thing up to a 7/7 consistently, so. Wildwood doesn't come down. Okay. For some reason, I always thought Wildwood had like 0/1 stat line, so if you played it just for 1, you got a 0/1, but That's not the case. That is not the case. Not at all the case. We don't need to use the Fabled unless we're going to connect with the Mammoth, right? If Mammoth is just going to hit Fae, then we don't need to use Fabled. I have a feeling, though, they're going to block and then discard 2 cards. No. They're just going to let... Alright. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cool beans. Cool freaking beans. We'll take them down to 13. Maybe. I mean, they could always have a bar, right? Or a giant killer. Or a cheeky giant killer. But that does get rid of that cards. So wait a minute. You messed up, Johnny. You messed up. There we go. Bye-bye, Fae of Wishes. That was pretty good. I wish I had our Wildwood down for that, but you know. Beggars can't be choosers. This is a little bit of a yikes. By the way, it's Jessica, it's not Teamer. I never took the second to point that out, but... I mean, I guess it could still be... It could be 4-color. Yugen. Bum bum bum. Everybody fear the Yugen. And a cheeky little Storm's Wrath. Well, Storm's Wrath won't actually take out my Scavenging Ooze, so not too concerned about that. Yugen... God... Enters the battlefield, enter another creature, dies. Damn it, why can't it be leaves the battlefield? Why can't it ever just be leaves the battlefield? So they're not going to be able to hit Yugen on their next turn, right? They don't have that ramp ability. So if I put this down for 1, and then I put the Ooze down, we could have a pretty... but I can't do that because of Storm's Wrath. Right. So if I'm going to put something down, it has to be solid. So put this down for 3, still won't be big enough. Put this down, still won't be big enough. I think the Lieutenant is the only thing that lives through the Storm's Wrath, right? I mean, obviously our Ooze can exile their stuff and still live, but... Obviously. Why didn't I do it there? You know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to trick them into playing the Storm's Wrath. Fuck. It would have been 1 extra damage. I tell you what, if we lose by 1 point of damage, I know where I missed it. I know where I missed it. Oh, this is 4 or less. Well, this does get rid of their Clover. Does get rid of the Clover. Down to 7. Down to 7. And again, we're not going to play the Wildwood or the Orin Reef Ooze? I don't think. I don't think. Almost playing Skyclave gives them an oust, right? Like, now they can play Storm's Wrath and they have defense. But if they were to use something like a Brazen Borrower with that Lucky Clover. Anyways, we're picking up the victory, so... Javi Monte. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Or Javi Monte? Javi? So yeah, this seems pretty good. Swarm Shambler. Conclave. Wildwood? I like it. I like it, is what I'm saying. Now, I don't know that I'm playing the most competitive version of Selesnya Counters, but y'all know me, like, whenever I'm playing like a serious top tier deck, I'm much more inclined to just like, okay, whatever they say, sure, we'll just put it in there, because whatever. But whenever I'm building my own deck, and it's a deck that I already have a little bit of a bias towards, a little bit of a love for, then I'm like, well, if I know that it's kind of competitive already, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with it. So there we go. Opponent is finally here and ready to play some Magic the Gathering. All this white mana, I'm telling you, I need some green, some greenery. So we're not going to get the Swarm Shambler down. I was really hoping that I could wish it into existence there. Well, can't win them all. But you also can't lose them all, right? That's not true, actually. You most certainly can lose them all. Bro, you just use your fucking Lotus Cobra as removal? Some next level shit right there. Some next level shit. I think we do go for the Felidar Retreat. Hopefully we can hit some... I like this. I like this deck. Whatever it is, this Gruul, instant speed, sorcery speed, big Gruul. I don't know what you want to call it. Oh my goodness. Well, my goodness. We didn't draw land here, but I can use Emeria's Call, shock it in, and then play down Felidar Retreat. Then come next turn. Oh, come next turn. We'll throw down... Well, it depends. If we draw into another small mana creature, we'll throw down Swarm Shambler, go for the Basri Solidarity, and hopefully whatever other creature that is. If we don't, we'll probably just go for Basri's Lieutenant. But we'll see. We'll see. Either which way, we have the ability to get down 2 kitty cats if we want, or 1 kitty cat and a lot of counters. So we'll see which way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes it's a soft crumble, sometimes it's hard and in bits. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We've all had those cookies. Bruh, come on. Why y'all all gotta be lame as fuck with Gem Razor? I used to really like that card. I was like, oh man, this is such good versatility, utility, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm tired of it, okay? I just want to play my enchantments. I remember the day when enchantments were just that. They were playable. Nowadays, it's like, okay, sure. I mean, I guess you tried to play something. But, wahahaha. That's alright, whatever. We don't give a fuck about you, Gem Razor. You flying, trampling, reaching motherfucker. What'd they just do? Opponents can't gain life. This card doesn't gain life, you twat. Cheers to not reading cards. Get them, Wildwood. They're gonna be removing my fun stuff, my Felidar Retreat. Smack them around. Do 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 do. Oh boy, aren't you glad you got all that mana now? So much stuff to do with it. I mean, I guess the food, that is a very real thing. Just like, stay living off the food, use your Gem Razor to attack my face. It's not a bad plan. Not a bad little plan. Damn, especially whenever I only hit fracking lands. Freaking fracking lands. Did I miss putting a counter on my Swarm Shambler there? I'm not entirely sure, if I'm being honest with y'all. Not entirely sure. So they only have to deal 1 damage to us. That's not great. Right, because they're going to deal 4 off the Gem Razor, which means if they can deal 1 single more point of damage to me, we are, as the experts say, toast. I mean, Terror doesn't deal damage, but I do think it'll give them enough to keep me from finishing the game out, right? Such a strange deck. Such a strange deck. So what would we need here in order to live? Because we're down to 1 life. We need... Well, I can tell you what we didn't need, and that is 3 lands in a row.